Hey everyone, so today we're going to be taking a look at set 75980 Attack on the Burrow from the LEGO Harry Potter 2020 wave. This is one of the sets I've been most excited for. I've had my eye on it ever since it got announced, as the 2010 Burrow was one of my favourite sets of all time. This set retails for 150 Australian dollars, 100 US dollars and 90 Great British pounds. This set also has 8 minifigures, 6 of which are exclusive at this time, and one of which has never appeared in LEGO form before, and that is Nymphadora Tonks. Although I don't think these minifigures are as good as we've seen recently in the later Harry Potter waves. So let's have a look at them now and I'll tell you what I mean. Starting off, as always, we have Harry Potter. Now this is the exact same Harry that is shown in the Forbidden Forest Umbridge's encounter, so he's nothing too special. Unfortunately, his outfit is not movie accurate. In this scene, his jacket was zipped up the whole time and I can't remember if he was actually wearing a hoodie or not. Besides that, the figure has some pretty good printing and a nice hood piece on the back. In saying that, this is the same piece that was reused in Jurassic World and in Spider-Man Far From Home, so it's not really very unique or interesting. And Harry's got the same alternate face that he's had since 2019. And next up we have Ron Weasley. Now although he is technically unique to this set, he's not exclusive in any way, shape or form. It's just a unique combination of parts. He's got the same head and face as the Astronomy Tower, and he's got the same red jumper that was shown in the Prisoner of Azkaban set Hagrid's Hut. Because of this jumper is not accurate to this scene, although unlike Harry, at least it showed up in the franchise. He's just got some plain black legs and is carrying his reddish brown wand. His back printing's pretty nice and I love his angry alternate face. Starting off our first exclusive minifigures, we have Ginny Weasley. Now Ginny's hair is the same as her 2010 version, however this time her face is the same as Claire from Jurassic World. Now at first I didn't think this face really matched her at all, besides her alternate face, which I thought was pretty well done. Although it was pointed out to me that it actually is pretty similar to the way Ginny is described in the books rather than in the movies. And if you've read the books, you will know that Ginny was a much better character in the books. She's got a plain green t-shirt, which I can't remember seeing in a scene in particular. Maybe it was when she was in the Room of Requirement, I think someone said. And although I watched the films like 2 weeks ago, I can't really remember myself. She's also got some plain brown legs, which is pretty disappointing. I was hoping she'd have some sort of leg printing, and has some really nice back printing and a much better alternate face. Next we have Arthur Weasley. Now this is the second time this character has appeared in a set, with the first being the original Burrow. He's got a really nice torso print with a patchwork jumper, which I think represents Arthur perfectly. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if he wore this, although it's definitely the type of style of something Arthur would wear. He's got a nice gentle smiling face, which I wish had a few more age lines, but I think it's pretty accurate for the character, especially because you can see the bags underneath his eyes. He's got some dark grey legs and comes with an orange wand. He also comes with a rather stern and angry looking face. Next we have his loving wife, Molly, which is personally one of the biggest disappointments in this set. I feel like this figure could have been so much better, especially considering what they've done with some of the previous Harry Potter figures. Molly just doesn't have that same care and detail that I feel like a lot of the figures in other Harry Potter sets got. And she's not the only one in this set, but I think she's the best example. The best thing about Molly by far is her torso print. I can't fault it. I love it. The amount of detail in there is spectacular. You can see all the knitted lines. There's a rope belt and some nice flowers on the top. Now it's important to note though, she did not wear it in this scene. However, I think she wore it in the Deathly Hallows. There's definitely photos of her wearing this outfit though. I like how they used the new skirt piece as well. I just wish there was some more printing on there, as Molly had a really nice dress. But the skirt I can live with. It's the face and the hair that annoy me the most. Her face is actually a reuse of Helga Hufflepuff's from the 2018 Hogwarts Castle microscale set. If I was to have bought that, I would be extremely disappointed, and those 4 figures were supposed to be exclusive prints, really hard to come by. It does look pretty good, it's just a shame to see that it is a reuse of such an exclusive figure's face. And lastly we have her hair. Personally, I just don't think it looks right. This hairpiece was first introduced on Kira from Star Wars Solo, and even then I just didn't like the look of the hairpiece. I don't think it looks particularly good no matter what color it's in. Most of that comes from the weird molding at the front. From the back it looks pretty good, but all the hair is curved under and it just doesn't look right. There's massive gaps on the side of her face and I feel like they could have done a much better job. Molly has some really nice back printing, but I don't think Helga Hufflepuff's alternate face really suits her. Next we have Fenrir Greyback, which personally I think is one of the best figures in this set. Now although he didn't appear on screen for too much. LEGO gave him so much detailing. And he's also the only figure in this set to have leg printing, and although that leg print is a reused piece, I think it looks fantastic on him. He's got a black slicked back hairpiece and a really nice torso print with a deep V-neck shirt. His face looks really cunning and evil, and I think it looks really good. There isn't too much to his back printing, but his alternate face I think is even better than the original one. Next up is Bellatrix, and I think just like Molly, she is a really big letdown. Just like Molly, Bellatrix is missing any form of skirt printing, and since they did it on Dumbledore just last year, I don't know why they didn't stretch the budget a bit more to do it. If that meant cutting 2 of the figures from this set just to get some extra detailed figures, I'd gladly take that up. Bellatrix torso looks really nice, although it is missing the arm cutout on the shoulders, but besides that, I think it looks really good, and I love the print for her necklace and all the stitching detail. I do wish she had arm printing though. I feel like Bellatrix is one of the characters where that would really benefit her. Luckily, she has the same hairpiece from the original, which looks perfect in my opinion. They nailed it, and I'm so glad to see that they brought it back. The most disappointing part about Bellatrix though, just like Molly, is her face. Now this time, Bellatrix's face is a reuse of Mantis's from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I just don't think it suits her at all. It doesn't look like Bellatrix to me. Taking her hair off though, you can see her back printing, and I think it looks really good. I love how she's got the hooded cloak on. And as you can see as well, she has a very angry looking stern face, which definitely looks a lot better than the other one. And our final figure is Nymphadora Tonks, and this is the first time she's ever appeared in a set. And as happy as I am to finally get Tonks, I do wish that it was in an Order of the Phoenix set, as that variant is just so much more interesting to me, so I hope we get to see her one day. She has a really nice face print, although I think her hair could have been better. In fact, I think they should have used Molly Weasley's hair in its original colouring for this figure. I think that would have been really accurate. Tonks has also got a really nice and really accurate torso print, and unlike a lot of the characters in this set, it was actually from the scene. She's also got a very nice angry face and some minimal back printing. So before we go on to talking about the Burrow itself, I just wanted to show you the little side build that it comes with. To me, and I imagine a lot of other people, this side build just feels like it was a very last minute thought, mainly because of the really plain design and the lack of pieces and detail. Like, it's just a bunch of fire flames. And although it's accurate to the movie that the fires pull out and then you can have characters jump through it, I think it could have been so much better. And the reason I think it was so last minute as well is that if you look in the back of the manual, you build it last. Like, you finish building the entire building and then you build the fire. To me, that just doesn't make any sense. In all the other sets, usually you would do the side builds first, so why is it last? I'll probably just dismantle it and pull all these pieces into a bag or something, although I do really like these flame pieces. I think they look really good. I love the colouring of them. If you were a kid, you could very easily lose this. Like, there's nothing to it, which is a real shame, as most of the scene takes place outside of this fire ring and into like the lakes and the bushes and all of that. So here we have the entire Burrow in her full glory. It just looks spectacular and looks so accurate to the movie. It makes me so happy. This thing is pretty massive too. In fact, I have to lift the camera up and pull it right back next to me to be able to fit the whole thing in the frame. Now, one thing to note with this Burrow as well is that it looks best displayed at an angle. Due to its weird, awkward dollhouse effect, you turn it to the side and instantly the whole thing opens up. So starting off, we have the little pig pen at the bottom. I love the round pieces to represent some dirt patches and the leaves hanging off the side. You've also got a small red bucket, which I presume is of pig food. This piece here is printed and it's used quite a few times in this set. Everything else, however, is a sticker, which is quite annoying. Inside, you have a bright pink pig. Moving into the back, you can see some really nice detailed panels. Now, these are all stickers. They're quite a pain to get on as well, as to pick them up, you have to put your finger on them and then your fingerprint kind of gets stuck on the back because it is see-through. You've also got this really nice double layered window here. So there's only glass panels on the side and the windows on the inside don't have any at all, they're just left empty. Spinning it around, you have the front of the house. You've got 2 pillars here, another piece of leaves, some more of those windows and wooden pieces, and this archway comes up all the way into a nice neat triangle. I think this build looks really good and you can line it up perfectly so that it sits really nice and flush. Now that we've zoomed out as well, you can have a better look at the roof with all its mismatched roof tiles. I think this adds a lot of effect to this set. I found it quite hard to build this roof though. A few times it would collapse on me. Spinning the Burrow around and you have a lot of room to play with. And as someone who used to play with my Burrow set a lot like a doll's house type of thing, having a lot of space I can see is going to really benefit Lego, as this whole kitchen can swing out and then you've got much more of a bigger lounge room. I love the look of the kitchen. I think the mismatched chairs just look fantastic. You've also got a teapot, a sink, a bottle, and some jars back here. The table itself also just looks amazing. I love the use of the printed eggs and the waffle pieces, although waffles from memory don't really pop up in a full English breakfast. That's much more of an American thing, but it doesn't really matter. On the right hand side, we also have some 2 plant pots with some stems poking out and a stickered picture frame at the top. Now, swinging this out, you get much better access to the Weasleys lounge room. And inside the lounge room, you get a much better look at the Weasleys clock with all the little dials of everyone's faces. I love this sticker. It looks amazing and a lot more accurate than the original one had. The build for it's also quite nice, although it's quite hard to take it in and out, so I'm just gonna leave it in place there. You also get a small armchair, which I presume is Arthur's to sit on, but that's not all for the Weasleys lounge room. In fact, this set opens up yet again over here. Now, this is just connected using one of those modified 1x1 bricks and sticking it into the other one over here, which is quite nice. It's a lot more sturdy than I thought it was as well. So inside we have an additional lounge room with a really nice orange armchair. I really love the build for the orange armchair and I love the little cushion on the front. There's also a lamp in the background, a little plant pot, a bottle, and a candlestick holder. Moving it around to the side, we have one of my favorite areas of the house, which is the Flue Network fireplace. I'm so glad that it's been incorporated into the house this time around, and I also love these little log pieces over here. I think that was really smart. On this little table here, you can see the pot where all the Flue powder is kept, as well as a white letter. The best part about the fireplace, though, is that the Flue Network actually works. By twisting a cog on the outside of the house, you can change it to green flames. So closing that up, we're going to take a look at the second level, which is where Ginny Weasley sleeps. So to get a better look at this, I'm going to pop the top of the level off and also lift up this archway piece. And that whole feature is how the Burrow actually has its tilting function. Getting a better look inside Ginny's room, you can see that she has a white table and a white chair with a blue comb on the top and a little mirror on the wall. We've also got Ginny's broomstick hanging from the top of the wall and a Weird Sisters poster. And fun fact, the Weird Sisters are the band that played at the Yule Ball. Inside, we also have a really nice bed build. I think this looks really good and I love the use of the bright colours and the fact that it ties into the Weasleys' favourite Quidditch teams. Putting this piece down, you can see how the sloped function of the Burrow actually works. It is just on some hinge pieces and has a very slight gradient. Now you can see here that the top level is only connected by 4 studs, and when it's down on display, it's pretty sturdy even for play value, and I love that you can pop the top off. Popping the top layer on, let's take a look at Molly and Arthur's room. On the right hand side, they have a really nice bed using some of these vehicle grills and some blue and red pieces to make their quilt. One thing that's kind of annoying though is that red and blue doesn't match up with the tiles on the top. And Molly and Arthur's room is one of the only ones that has an opening and closing window. On the right hand side, we have this other little area with a basket full of yarn and Mrs. Weasley's knitting pattern. And at the back as well, we have the Weasley's family portrait from the time they went to Egypt. I love the way this print turned out. I think it was a really nice inclusion. Getting to the top of the Burrow now, we have Ron's bedroom, and it is a lot emptier than Ginny's. On the wall, we have a really neat Chudley Cannon sticker print. I think this looks really good. Just like Ginny, Ron has a very similar bed, although this time his one has the Chudley Cannons logo on it. His one also has the more orange tones of the Chudley Cannons team. On the left-hand side of his room, you can see steps leading up to the balcony at the top. And the balcony really doesn't have too much going on. It's got a little broomstick clipped to the top, but other than that, it's just a bunch of railings and white pieces. And at the very top, we have this little empty space where they kind of just make the owls sit. The 2 owls we get as well is the reintroduction of the brown owl piece, which was first shown in 2010, and I'm pretty sure this is either supposed to represent Errol or Pidwidgeon. And then we also have the brand new Hedwig piece with the open wings. This piece is brand new for 2020 and she featured in 4 sets. And I love the way that this piece looks. I hope they do some recolors of it in the future. So that is the entire Burrow. I think it looks amazing. I love the amount of detail that they could fit into this set, and I think by having such a high piece count, it allowed for a much more accurate build. I also feel like because of the amount of space, there's a lot of playability here despite having not many play features. In fact, the only play features listed on the box are the arching of the flames and the Flue powder network. Taking a look at the outside as well, you can see where the cog is to turn turn the flue powder fireplace. I love the way the house looks. I think it's such a significant upgrade from the original, and I can't wait to put it on my shelf. So overall, hands down, I think this is one of the best sets from the 2020 wave. The Weasleys' house is such an interesting building and one of the most famous buildings from the Harry Potter series in general. And I think LEGO hit the nail on the head with this set. The only things that bring it down are that little fire build, which definitely could have been fleshed out a bit better or forgotten completely, and also the lack of details on the minifigures. If you were only able to get a few sets from the 2020 wave, this one I reckon would have to be one of the ones you should pick up. I also know it's going to be very popular, as it's been very hard for me to try and get my hands on it this last month. Overall, I love this set, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it, especially to do with the minifigures. Do you think they're all right and that I'm overreacting, or are you disappointed too? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.